Guys, I was just scrolling through my phone and I saw a photo Jessa sent me, and I literally had to double tap to make sure I was seeing it right. Is that really Spurgeon? I feel like I just blinked, and the little boy who used to run around the big house is now standing shoulder to shoulder with Jessa. He's 10 years old. You guys, 10. It hits me differently because I'm all the way in California. And sometimes I forget how fast time moves back in Arkansas. Seeing the Seewald 6 all together in one frame. From Spurgeon being a pre-teen to that sweet new baby in Jessa's arms. It's overwhelming. But it's not just about the height and the age. It's about how much Jessa's world has changed since the cameras stopped rolling. Today, I'm taking a deep breath and looking at how my sister is managing a household of 8. The reality of Spurgeon growing up in a world without counting on, and the secret to how Jessa keeps it all together. Trust me, you won't believe how much they've grown. I have to tell you guys, I was sitting in my kitchen in LA, just scrolling through my messages when a photo from Jessa popped up. I nearly dropped my coffee. I mean, I know time passes. I have 2 girls of my own, but seeing that new family photo she posted, it hit me like a ton of bricks. There is looking as radiant as ever, but standing next to her is this young man. I had to zoom in. I was like, wait, is that Spurgeon? It's 2026. And I feel like I've been in a time warp. He isn't the little toddler with the curly hair anymore. He's tall. He's got this mature haircut, and he's standing there with so much confidence. It's wild because being all the way in California, I don't see them every day. I see the updates, but this specific photo, it just felt different. It felt like the end of an era and the start of something totally new for my sister's family. He's not a Duggar grandkid anymore. He's becoming his own person right before our eyes. Looking at Spurgeon now makes me so nostalgic for the big house days. You have to remember, he was the first grandchild of his generation to really be born into the counting on spotlight. There was so much hype around his birth. I remember the excitement, the cameras, and the mystery over his name. He was the OG grandkid who started this whole new wave of the family. Back then, everything was a public celebration. We all watched him take his first steps on national TV. Seeing him now at 10 years old, it makes me realize how much the world has shifted. He's the bridge between the old life we lived under the cameras and this new private life Jessa has built. He carries that legacy of being the first, But in this viral photo, he looks so ready to step away from it all and just be a 10-year-old kid. It makes me proud, but also a little bit sad at how fast those years flew by. Can we just talk about the fact that Jessa has 6 kids now? 6! In 2026, the Seewald 6 is a full-on crew. In the photo, you see the whole range from Spurgeon at the top all the way down to precious new baby Jessa is cradling. Every time I think she's done, she surprises us with another beautiful soul. Each one of them has such a distinct personality. You have Henry, who has always been my quiet, sweet nephew. Ivy, who is basically Jessa's mini twin with all that sass and brilliance. And then the younger ones, Fern and the others, who just add to the beautiful chaos. Seeing them all lined up in that sunlit yard, it's a lot to take in. It's a huge family, especially by today's standards. But Jessa has always been the organized one. She was the sister who kept us all in line growing up. So if anyone can handle a household of 8, it's definitely her. People often ask me, Jinger, how does Jessa do it? And honestly, seeing this photo makes me wonder the same thing. Raising 6 children in 2026 is a massive undertaking. Back when we were filming, we had a lot of help. There were film crews, assistants, and a whole system. But now, Jessa is doing the heavy lifting herself. She is a super mom in the true sense. She's managing the homeschooling, the meal prep, the laundry for 8 people, and she still manages to look like she's got it all together in her photos. But I know the reality. I know there are messy floors and exhausted nights behind that perfect shot. Jessa has a strength that I've always admired. She's leaned into this role of being the matriarch of her own branch of the family with so much grace. She's moved away from the TV fame and replaced it with something much more demanding, but much more rewarding. A home full of life. 10 years old is such a big milestone. It's that double-digit age where you aren't really a little boy anymore, but you aren't quite a teenager. In this viral photo, Spurgeon is right on that edge. You can see it in his eyes. He's observing the world differently now. It's a new chapter for him and for Jessa. She's not just chasing toddlers anymore. She's raising a young man who is going to have his own opinions, his own hobbies, and his own path. In 26, the world is a much different place than when we were 10. He has access to so much more information, even if they live a private life. Seeing him standing there, so tall and grown up, it's a reminder to me and to all of us that the kids we grew up watching aren't kids anymore. They are the future, and seeing Spurgeon at 10 gives me a lot of hope that Jessa is raising them to be strong, kind, and ready for whatever comes next. One thing people don't realize about this viral photo is the peace behind it. Growing up, our lives were scheduled down to the minute by a production crew. We were always on. But for Jessa's kids, especially the younger ones, they don't know what a boom mic is. They don't have to worry about lighting or retakes. In 2026, Jessa has created a sanctuary for them. Watching Spurgeon and Henry grow up without the constant pressure of being TV characters is such a relief for me. They get to have a childhood that belongs only to them. They can play in the dirt, get their clothes messy, and just be kids without it being turned into a storyline. I think that's why they look so happy and natural in these photos. They aren't performing for the world. They are just living for each other. It's a beautiful thing to see my sister reclaim her family's privacy. Living in California while my family is in Arkansas it's hard, especially when photos like this come out. My girls are growing up with palm trees and the ocean, while Jessa's kids are growing up with wide, open fields and that southern summer heat. The gap feels huge sometimes. I'll look at my daughters, Felicity and Evangeline, and then I'll look at this photo of Spurgeon and I realize they are growing up in two totally different Americas, but even with the distance, we try to stay connected. We FaceTime, we send videos, and we share these milestones. But seeing how much Spurgeon has grown since the last time I saw him in person, it's a reminder that I'm missing the little things. And I'm missing the day. Today changes that turn a boy into a young man. And it makes these viral photos even more precious to me because they're my way of keeping up with the people I love most. Everyone is talking about Spurgeon because he's the oldest. But look at Henry in this photo. He has always been the quiet, observant one in the Seewald house. He's got this gentle spirit that reminds me so much of Ben. Seeing him now, he's not that little toddler who struggled with his speech anymore. He's grown up so much. He looks like he's stepped into his own role as a big brother. In a house with 6 kids, it's easy to get lost in the noise, but Henry has this way of just being a calm presence. Jessa has worked so hard with him over the years, and seeing him look so healthy, happy, and confident in this new family portrait is just wonderful. He's growing into such a handsome young man, and I can tell he's going to be a huge support for his younger siblings. And then we have the girls, Ivy and Fern. They are the firecrackers of the family. In the photo, you can see that spark in their eyes. Ivy is becoming such a little lady, and she looks so much like Jessa did at that age. She's smart, she's quick, and she definitely keeps her brothers on their toes. Fern is growing up right behind her, and they are becoming the best of friends. It reminds me of the bond I have with my sisters. There's something special about having sisters in a big family. You always built in best friend for life. Jessa is raising them to be strong and independent, and you can see that personality even in a still photo. They aren't just the younger sisters. They are the heart of that home, and I love seeing their little personalities shine through. Okay, we have to talk about the newest member of the family. In the photo, Jessa is cradling a tiny newborn, and it just feels so surreal. Every time I think the Seewald family is complete, they add another blessing. This baby number 6, is such a surprise to the fans, but for us, it's just another seat at the table. Adding a newborn to a house with a 10-year-old like Spurgeon creates such an interesting dynamic. The older kids are actually old enough to help out now. I can imagine Spurgeon or Henry holding the baby or helping Jessa with the diapers. It's a different kind of parenting when you have such a wide age gap. This baby is born into a much quieter, more private world than Spurgeon was, and I think that's a beautiful gift Jessa is giving her youngest. Another Seewald, another story, and so much more love to go around. And one of the things I admire most about Jessa is her dedication to the kids' education. In 2026, with 6 children at home, homeschooling isn't just a choice. It's a full-time operation. I remember growing up, our homeschooling was a group effort, but Jessa has really modernized it. She's not just sticking to the old workbooks we had. She's incorporating technology outside the box projects and tailored learning for each child. Seeing Spurgeon at 10, you can tell he's a bright, curious kid. Jessa is making sure that even though they live a private life, their minds are wide open to the world. It's a lot of pressure to be both mom and teacher to 6 different grade levels. But if you look at how focused and engaged the kids are in her updates, you can tell she's nailing it. She's giving them the tools to be independent thinkers, which is so important to both of us now. But people always ask what Spurgeon is actually like now that he's older. He's not just the boy from the show anymore. At 10, he has developed such a unique set of interests. He's always been articulate, even as a toddler. But now he's into reading, building, and he has this incredible imagination. In the viral photo, he has this look in his eyes, like he's already thinking 3 steps ahead. He's very much a leader among his siblings. He loves explaining things to Henry or helping the girls with their toys. He's also really into the outdoors, which is perfect for where they live in Arkansas. He isn't interested in the fame or the cameras. He's interested in the world around him, seeing him thrive in his own hobbies, away from any scripts or storylines, is one of the things that makes me happiest for him. The big question everyone in the comments section asks is, how do they afford it? 8 people in one house is a lot of groceries. But Jessa and Ben have been so smart about their transition away from TV. They didn't just sit back. They leaned into their own strengths. Ben has his work in the ministry and his studies, and Jessa has become quite the entrepreneur in the digital space. She's been very selective and wise about how she uses her art platform. They live a very modest, intentional life. They aren't chasing the Hollywood lifestyle. They value stability and being debt-free by living within their means and being smart with their investments over the years. They've managed to create a life where they don't need the show to survive. That financial freedom is exactly what allows them to keep their kids live so private in 2026. If you look closely at the background of that family photo, you'll see it. The new look house. They moved a while back into a space that actually fits a family of 8. It's a beautiful, renovated home that Jessa has put so much heart into. It's not a mansion, but it's perfect for them. It has that classic, cozy Seewald vibe, but with enough room for everyone to have their own space. Jessa has always had a knack for interior design and making a house feel like a home. I remember when they first got married and lived in that tiny house. Seeing them now in this bigger, more functional space feels such a reward for all their hard work. It's a place where the kids can grow, where they have a big yard to run in, and where Jessa can finally have a kitchen big enough to feed her army. With 6 kids, the sibling dynamics in that house are fascinating. In the photo, you can see how they all cluster together. Spurgeon and Henry are the big guys now, and they take that role seriously. There's no buddy system like we had, but there is a natural sense of responsibility. The older kids really do help Jessa, whether it's entertaining the toddlers so she can cook or helping a little one put on their shoes. They are a team. It's not forced. It's just how they live. I think it's teaching them so much empathy and patience. Watching the way Spurgeon looks at the new baby, or the way Ivy holds Fern's hand, it's heartwarming. Jessa is fostering a home where they don't just live together, they truly take care of each other. That bond is going to be their greatest strength as they get older. I think back to the last time I was able to visit them in Arkansas, and the difference between then and now is just incredible. Back then, it was a house full of toddlers, and it was chaotic. But now, walking into Jessa's home feels different. There's still a lot of energy, of course, but there's a new level of maturity. Seeing Spurgeon at 10, standing tall and helping out, it really hit me how much I've missed by being so far away. We spent the afternoon just catching up while the kids played, and it was one of those moments where you realize that despite the different lives we lead, her in the quiet South and me in busy LA, our bond as sisters is stronger than ever. She's my best friend, the one I call when things get tough, and seeing her thrive in her own space makes every mile between us feel a little shorter. People often wonder if Spurgeon will ever want to back on TV, or if he'll chase the fame his parents once had. But from what I see, he's totally over it. He doesn't even really remember the filming days as something special. To him, it was just something the grown-ups did. In 2026, he's building a legacy that has nothing to do with being a reality star. He's a leader, a thinker, and a boy who is deeply rooted in his faith and his family. Jessa has done such a good job of shielding him from the fame aspect so he can just focus on being a person of character. I think his legacy won't be a TV show. It will be the way he cares for his siblings and the person he's becoming behind the scenes. He's the OG grandchild, but he's proving that you don't need a camera to have a big impact. We can't talk about this family without talking about Ben. He has really stepped into his own as a father and a pastor over the last few years. While Jessa is the organized force behind the scenes, Ben is the calm, steady anchor. Seeing the way the boys, especially Spurgeon, look up to him is so heartwarming. He's teaching them what it means to be a man of integrity, to work hard and to lead with kindness. He doesn't seek the spotlight either. He's perfectly content serving his community and raising his kids. His influence is all over that viral photo. You can see it in the kids' smiles and the peaceful vibe of their home. He and Jessa are a true team, and his steady hand is exactly what that big family needs as the kids head into their teen years. I often look at Jessa's life with her 6 kids and can compare to my own life with my 2 girls in California. It's like 2 different worlds. My girls are growing up with city life and a different kind of pace, while Jessa's kids have the quiet and the open spaces of Arkansas. Sometimes I'm a little jealous of that quietness. But more than that, it makes me appreciate our different paths. Jessa was always meant to have a house full of children. She has that natural mothering instinct that is just unmatched. While I'm finding my way in a more public, urban setting, she's finding her peace in the hearth of her home. We're both breaking cycles and raising our kids to be independent, but we're doing it in the environments that suit us best. Seeing her happy makes me feel more confident in my own choices, too. As I look at that viral photo one last time, I just feel a sense of peace. The Seewalds have a bright future ahead. The next 10 years are going to be a whirlwind as Spurgeon enters his teens and the others follow. But I know Jessa and Ben are ready for it. They aren't looking for the next big TV deal or the next headline. They're looking at the faces of their children. That is their true counting on. My final thought is just one of hope. Hope that they continue to have this privacy. Hope that the kids grow up knowing they are loved for who they are, not what they can provide for an audience. Jessa has reclaimed her life, and in 2026, it looks more beautiful than I ever could have imagined. They're the Seewald 8 now, and they're just getting started.